This morning for breakfast we will be cooking a frittata with roasted vegetables, some roasted potatoes, and a mild chicken sausage. Today's recipe calls for 6 eggs, 3 large potatoes. In today's instance I have 2 large potatoes and 4 small potatoes, 1 zucchini, 1 red pepper, a small onion, a half of a medium onion or a quarter of a very large onion, a clove of garlic, a half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. You could use any kind of cheese that you'd like. I just happen to have cheddar in the refrigerator. Some good options would be Parmesan. You could use mozzarella, something that's going to melt, not be too strong flavored. I have 2 mild Italian chicken sausages. You could use any kind of sausage that you wanted. I mean, you could take the frozen, Jimmy Dean brand if you like, but I sprung for the nice one. Olive oil. There are 2 spices that everyone should have in their kitchen. One of them is herbes de Provence. The other one, Chef Paul Prud'homme's magic seasoning. When he says magic, he means magic. And of course, salt and pepper. Okay, let's get started. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to chop up our potatoes. I'm going to start by cutting this potato in half, taking 1/2 of it, cutting it in half, and slicing them in about a 1/2 inch thick slices. Go ahead and chop the rest of the potatoes up like this, and I'll meet you back here for the rest of the vegetables. We're going to chop up the zucchini here. We're going to start by cutting off the 2 ends. I washed all of the vegetables just to make sure there's no dirt on them. I'm going to cut it in half, like so. It's got a curvature to it. I'm just going to try to make straight cuts in it. And I'm going to chop it up like this. I'm going to try to keep this one not super fine, but fine enough. Alright, next we're going to chop up the onion. We're going to start chopping the onion by peeling off the yellow skin here, tossing it away. I'm going to cut this onion this way. Dice it up into small pieces. We're going to turn it like this, chop it up nice and fine. Garlic. Best way to peel garlic is just to hit it on the top like that. Break the skin off of it. This is a pretty big clove. If you have smaller cloves, use 2 of them. You're going to want to end up with about 1.5 tablespoons of garlic. If you're using pre-chopped garlic, which is perfectly fine to use. So I'm going to smash it again. Make sure it's good and flattened, and then I'm just going to dice it up. You don't want anybody to get a big chunk of garlic all at once. Best way to cut a red pepper is to cut the top off of it. Toss the top away. Cut into the side of it like such, and then just peel it away like this. If you miss something, you can cut it back like that. Peel the white out of it, like such. I'm actually going to only use half of this. I'm going to use the bigger half though. And how I'm going to cut it is I'm just going to cut it like this. Lay it on its side like this, and I'm just gonna to make our roasted potatoes, we've chopped up the potatoes. We're gonna pour in about 3 tablespoons of oil. I'm just gonna give it a 3 count, like that. We're gonna take the herbes de Provence, and when you first start doing all of this stuff, I recommend you pour it in your hand like this. This will prevent you from pouring too much in there. And the rule of thumb is you really don't want more than what's going to go in your palm and this much. This might even be too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it a pinch at a time, spread it on there. I'm going to spread it on there like this to make sure that it's all good and covered. And then I'm going to put the rest back in here. I'm going to take a pinch of this magic seasoning, and really it's just a pinch. Just to sprinkle on the top to give it just a touch of spice. It's less than a teaspoon. It's probably 2/3 of a teaspoon. I'm going to pour salt in. The best bet is not to pour too much in there and let everyone season the potatoes the way that they like. Take this bowl, flip the potatoes a couple of times, get them good and covered with oil, get the spices all over them. I'm gonna grab my pan, pour my potatoes into the pan, shake them out so they're flat. You see they've got enough spice on them to look so that they're evenly covered. I've preheated the oven to 375. I'm going to take the potatoes and put them in there and let them bake for about 35 minutes.